one of the talk shows, a 8-year-old who actually came in with a poster with me and a stomach and the large intestine in the middle, and he wrote G and then he said our Gutman. I didn't want to be a doctor to start with. There was a flight that they booked for me from Delhi to Coimbatore, which I never boarded a flight before. I said, good, let's become a doctor, because I have this passion towards seeing somebody feeling happy. My go-to breaking statement is, we're going to do an endoscopy and a colonoscopy at the same time for you, for your problems. And after this procedure, I'll be the only one who will know you inside out.
Inside out, clearly.
Love your gut, gut will love you back.
Audio's fine. Welcome to Unplan Life with me, Ambika Singh Kahma, where we dive into the twists and turns of life. Today we have an incredible guest with us. We have with us Dr. Manickam, also known as the Gutman. Thank you so much, Dr. Paul, for joining us today.
Thank you for having me, Ambika.
You know, when we say unplanned, my question will come to you, regarding that, because your life really wasn't planned. You were a doctor, but 2020, what happened that has today made you a social media sensation?
Thank you. It was completely an accident. It completely unplanned.
Yeah.
So we had our second baby, and my wife and my mother-in-law took the baby to Chennai, and I was supposed to join them a week after that the COVID hit and they got stuck. My organization wanted me to do a promotional video on COVID awareness, so I did a video with my humor quirks added to it. They looked into it and then they said that it looked like a stand-up comedy. It's not professional, so we cannot release it. So I sent them 2 videos. One is this one, the second one is a professional video, and they put both on YouTube. The professional video got 5 views, which was me. The one with the humor quirk got 5 million views.
And that's the first video.
That's my first video. I never thought that there'll be this much amount of reach. Then I like writing scripts, and I used to do stand-up comedy on the side in Bay Area as a hobby to vent out my medical frustrations.
Okay. So what you actually were doing to vent out your medical frustrations today has, I mean, you've got a huge following. I follow, so many of things what you say, and they're very easy to do. But what inspired you to actually start making these videos? Like you said, that was an accident, or you made professionally, and, it happened. And today, look where you are. And did you have anything in mind initially, ki, these are my goals, or this is what I want to be at?
Yeah. I get emotional every time I talk about it, because I was pretty big before. I was 100 kilos. I lost weight. But despite being a doctor, I was not aware of my body myself. I was abusing it. I was focusing on my career, coming from a middle-class family. So from 2000 to 2015, I got MBBS, DM, AB, Gastro, like 15 letters right after my name. I had 15 inches of belly fat right around my belly button. My first wake-up call was when I was seeing a patient. I got chest pain, palpitations. I went to the emergency room. They said, you have heart attack. I was 33 at that time. And I didn't realize that what will happen to my kid we just had 6 months ago. Then that was my wake-up call. To be honest, I had this platform. My only intention initially was to tell all the youth between 25 to 35 years of age, don't do the mistake that I did. It was very organic, intentional process.
And you lost 50 pounds. I read about that. Like when they had to rush you and you mild heart attack.
Correct.
But you actually lost 50 pounds and you did it by yourself.
I did it by myself, but the beauty of that was I didn't know how to do it.
And how difficult was it exactly? Like, so you just researched and
it was extremely difficult.
So if the will is there, matlab agar dil karna chahta, you can do it. That kind of a thing.
There's a way. Then I realized how hard for a patient it would be. Despite being a doctor, I was not able to delineate. In medical curriculum, they don't teach you about protein, carbs, fats, macros, nothing like that. They focus on treatment.
Yeah.
Nobody focuses on prevention. So I learned myself everything. Because I had a medical background, I was able to understand a little bit better than a patient. So then I realized that, okay, so if I am the patient with obesity or PCOS or anything like that, what will I need? That is exactly I put together as a program called Preventive Gastroenterology in my hospital in California. And you will not believe the results have been phenomenal, to a point that my Dignity Health Hospitals is asking me to expand that program into all the Dignity Health Hospitals. So I think the medicine is reverse. The medical practice is actually, to be honest, it's corrupted.
Yeah, true. I mean,
in the way that we treat only after a heart attack has happened, and you see the big.
We don't treat the symptom; we treat the disease.
We treat the disease, and we don't focus on prevention because that is not as lucrative as the treatment options. So I think it should be completely reversed.
I have so many questions to ask you as a gut man. I think even for myself, our viewers, because I think gut is something which you've also said it's connected to our mental well-being. So I'm going to ask you all that. But just going back, because there's not much known about you for our viewers, and the whole thing of doing this podcast, Unplanned Life, is did you always want to become a doctor, and how did you choose, your specialization in gastroenterology?
I didn't want to be a doctor to start with. I
So,
always.
so that is unplanned again.
That's it.
So I didn't know that. Otherwise, that would be my opening for you.
I don't know. My sister became a doctor because we were the first doctor in our family. So then I said, similar to everybody, engineer or doctor. So I chose medicine. To be honest, I was in BITS Pilani for 3 months.
Okay.
After 12th. Because I didn't get into my medical school, medical college, because I was 0.2 marks shy of the cutoff.
But you never wanted to be a doctor still.
I don't want to be a doctor, to be honest.
And then how did it happen?
So my
Because your sister...
No, my real honest answer is there was a flight that they booked for me from Delhi to Coimbatore, which I never boarded a flight before. I said, good, let's become a doctor.
Okay.
That's how it was. Because I was okay with either ways. But when I started seeing the patients, I'm so glad that it happened, because I have this passion towards seeing
Helping
somebody feeling happy.
Yeah. Also, I was reading what you actually... very rightly you said about, you being a messenger for health and happiness. Through I was reading about that, which is so true, because you can reach out to so many people.
Correct.
So clearly you didn't want to be a doctor. Life had that planned for you. I think, you didn't know about it. But today you're doing some great work towards humanity.
Yeah.
Okay, again, before we get into the work and we get into the rapid fire, I want to ask you, through your videos also, I see you give a lot of respect to your wife.
I do.
As a husband, when we talk about, so how do you again balance, because you're also still practicing in the US.
Correct.
You have a huge setup here, then
Correct.
to make your videos. So, but social media, pressure, it's a lot of work. So how, and you said you've got a newborn baby as well. So 2 young children.
Yes.
Your wife who's also working, and I saw that lovely, video of yours where she's giving you the samosa and you're just having it. So, how do you balance it? And how important is it? I mean, of course you're a doctor, but even, for men, to give their wives or the woman of the house that kind of respect.
Right. Let me just tell you my honest opinion is that
Yes.
I was not like this before. I was typical alpha male where I will focus on my career, my personal choices. My thing was, if I am financially successful, my wife will take care of the family. And that is the only angle that I had initially. We had our own emotional turmoil during some deliveries and abortions and all those things. Those things, coupled with my personal health care, completely changed my attitude towards life. And I was like, because I was born from a middle class family, my only focus was finance.
Yeah, you had your pressure.
I had my pressure. But then the pressure was off, but the mindset was not changed. I was just running against money, which I may not use ever in my life ever.
So you realized the value of course, money, but most importantly, you realize the value of relationship.
Yes.
And life,
And
because
life.
you said
And life.
you went through. You and your wife went through,
Multiple abortions.
a miscarriage,
Multiple abortions. Yeah. And
which can be very emotionally draining.
emotionally draining.
More for the mother, but equally for you as well.
It became equal after this episode.
After the change in your mindset, yeah. When you started realizing it's equal turmoil for me, seeing her what she's going through.
I'm saying this because, similar to me, there are many people out there who just running after money, who don't know why they need it. I think they should slow down a little bit. Relationships are much more beautiful than money. You should be financially secure first.
Yeah, of course.
And after that, you really need to sit down and then build a closer circle around you. It could be one friend or one person that you rely on. But the one person who's going to come along with you throughout your life is your spouse.
And I'm so glad I asked you this question, because it's out of the box. It's got nothing to do with your profession, or it's got nothing to do with gut health. But I think on a podcast, the point, to talk something important. And I actually saw that through your videos. So, hats off. I would really, salute men like you. And you are accepting it, front of all of us, your viewers,
Yes.
saying that you've changed yourself,
Yes.
which may help so many men change their mindset here as well.
I hope.
So I think, again, like you said, now reaching out. Okay, Dr. Pal, called the Gutman. Let's start, because you've spoken about, so much, you've shared so much about yourself here. You've connected, it's also science now, the gut health with your mental well-being. What's that connect?
People call gut as a second brain. Yes. But now that research showing that gut could be the first brain. because there's so much amount of neurons in the brain, which is actually there's so much amount of neurons in the gut, which is more than the brain. So if you sever your neck, I'm just example. You don't have to imagine.
Yeah, I was just going to think, should I try? But
Ambika's face become, no, I'm not. See, when the gut can still function. That's how interconnected the neurons are. The gut is the nerves or the actual Gutman for you because it is actually watching what you eat. Every time you eat anything, even healthy foods, unhealthy foods, the gut neurons can talk to each other, should quickly connect to the brain, and the brain connects to the gut, and then say, okay, so this is good for us, let's absorb.
and it impacts our mental, like if you've not eaten well, it impacts our mental well-being. So person who's eating right is even emotionally
Much more.
stronger.
Much more. In our research, serotonin is a hormone that is being given for patients with depression. It's a tablet in a tablet form that we give. So please take serotonin because your serotonin is also low.
It'll keep you happy. Oh.
It'll keep you happy.
Yeah.
Your depression will not be that much.
Yeah.
What we have figured out is the same serotonin can be secreted by the gut bacteria if you eat right at the gut lining. That will connect to the brain, give you serotonin in the way that you actually want.
Wow. So, Dr. Pal, I mean, now that you've explained it so well, I think the whole serotonin and why our food, what we're eating right, how it impacts our mental well-being. Again, I mean, clearly you eat really healthy because you use a lot of humor. So, which means again, I don't know how I could put it together, but medcom, that's what you call it, right?
Yes.
Medicine and comedy.
Yes.
Now, these two are very different. They're different spaces altogether. Let me put it like one is here, one is here. So, how do you make sure that what you're putting out there, the content, is also humorous, also informative, and also is reaching out, giving the right message?
This thing, something triggered me to do this even before YouTube in my clinical practice. So I do gastroenterology, as you know, piles, hemorrhoids, and all those things are embarrassing issues. So people don't talk about it. So any gastroenterologist, if you actually talk to them, they are funny to start with because that's how they communicate with the patient.
Because, like you said, it's an awkward subject.
It's an awkward
yeah,
subject.
Yeah.
You need to break the ice with something. My go-to breaking statement is, we are going to do an endoscopy and a colonoscopy at the same time for you, for your problems. And after this procedure, I'll be the only one who will know you inside out.
Inside out, clearly. Yeah, because it's like that. Yeah.
So that breaks the ice. And let's say after that, I ask you, how many times you have the bowel movement, is the bowel movement hard? I have seen the actual response from the patient. Yeah. So that really triggered me, okay, this is the angle that I'm able to reach out. To be honest with you, Ambika, that medical information alone is very easy. I can just list 1,000 videos.
But it's very boring.
Huh.
And how many people will watch it? Like I said, I watched your poop video. But it's interesting because I was like, how can somebody else's poop help somebody else's poop? But it did make me watch it and I did learn something out of it. So you're using humor for the right thing. But any pressure, then do you get any backlash?
So what happened is, I did a video that smoking causes pancreatic cancer. Pancreatic cancer will kill you in 6 months. Please stop smoking, guys. The first comment is like, doctor, where is the joke?
Okay, so they're clearly looking out for a joke when they know that's, yeah.
Correct.
So different kind of pressure again.
So every video that I put out there, my pressure is actually doing the delivery of the comical angle. I spent an hour on that compared to the 10 minutes I spent on medical information, which I already know.
How do you make it humorous?
Which I absolutely enjoy.
Yeah, but also I think it leaves an impact with the viewer or whoever's watching it and has given the message.
Correct.
Okay, so now before we go further, Dr. Pal, I have a rapid fire for you, but it's something to do with your expertise. So it's not very tough. We're not going to go into your details.
Of course.
Okay, so what are some essential gut-friendly foods?
It's rapid fire. How one answer or?
Yeah, 1 or 2 lines.
1 or 2 lines.
Gut-friendly food.
Fermented food locally produced in your particular state of India.
Okay, so it would, I would think dahi.
Dahi can be idli, dosa in Tamil Nadu, dokla in Gujarat, Jharkhand, they have one thing, Assam, they have one thing. It's called Korisa in Assam. Have you heard of it?
No.
Khorisa. I want you to look it up. Every local cuisine have their own beautiful fermented food. India is only country which has this wonderful fermented food particular to those states.
So we should keep it in mind that the state. So yeah, I think that's a very important takeaway. Okay, best gut healing tip. Any healing tip for our gut?
Sleep for 7 hours.
Why? I can do that. I can sleep for 10. So clearly, hopefully my gut is going to be good to me then. Okay, gut-related guilty pleasure. That's for you.
Just a comment on that.
Yeah, sure.
I told you that you look much younger than your age.
Oh, thank you. Now that you said it on camera.
This is the same thing I see with all the patients who sleep right. There is something to do with the repair of the gut lining with your skin axis. There is something called brain gut axis, which we talked about. There is a separate group is called gut skin axis.
Oh,
And I'm not telling you to flatter you.
Yeah, of course.
It's a real point that I'm seeing in my practice where a person is looking much younger than their age. Only small percentage is genetics, majority is what they eat.
so it's your
And
sleep
also
pattern.
sleep pattern.
Yeah, so lifestyle. I mean, clearly eating and of course sleep. Okay, that's I
Sleeping is
think
the most
a
important.
tip which very often we take it for granted. And we see the youngsters, like I have an 18-year-old. I see my sons, they sleep at 12. No, but we'll wake up at 9, 10. And then I see so many videos, which are there that you need your body, heals at specific time. Every body
Correct.
part heals at a specific time. Do you want to tell us a little bit about that before I
So
go on to the next question?
If somebody follows the sun, okay, the sun rises and then sun sets. You just need to be active only during those time. Technically speaking, everybody should go to bed by 9 p.m. Technically, but we are not possible. So if it is not possible, I'm just requesting you to understand that you are doing a compromise on your body. Because all the hormones also sleep during the night. Only repair hormones work. And that is why they say sun is extremely powerful, especially in Tamil Nadu.
Especially even when we were growing up, I think our grandparents, we always said कि अब सुबह हो गई है या शाम के time come home. But that's somewhere I feel that shift is happening, and that's why we see so many lifestyle diseases going up, right?
Correct.
And not just India, but globally.
Correct.
Okay, so the next one, this is for you. What's your guilty pleasure food that's not so gut friendly?
Biryani.
Mutton, chicken?
Mutton biryani.
Hyderabadi, Lucknowi?
Hyderabadi biryani.
Okay. Okay, now again, I want you to debunk some gut myths, health myths. Do probiotics really work?
Natural probiotics work. Probiotic supplements that you are getting from the shelf may not work for everybody. So it needs to be given by a gastroenterologist, in my opinion, who understands your GI disease. And even gastroenterologists will not be able to completely align the probiotic supplement with you. It's a trial and error method. So just because there is something being sold on the shelf, if you take it, if you think your gut health is going to improve, you are wasting that money. For that, you can donate that to my charity.
Okay, yeah, and also have naturally things which are doable. Like I think that's
Correct.
because that's not going to have any harm.
Correct.
Extra, yeah. Okay.
Correct.
Okay. Is gluten really the enemy?
No, of course not. You remember we talked about the late night sleep
Yeah.
and not being physically active. All this is creating something called SIBO, small intestinal bacterial overgrowth. You have a lot of bad gut bacteria in your small intestine, which is not supposed to be there. And this bad bacteria doesn't like gluten that much. So when you are eating gluten, if you're having bloating, which is controllable, then you have this condition.
Okay.
True gluten sensitivity is called celiac disease, which you yourself know whether you have it or not because it is very bad.
Okay.
Flatulence, diarrhea, you will not be able to grow, you will not be big because
So that's a serious disease.
that's
it's
a
not
serious
something like
disease.
what we just
Correct.
say gluten. Okay.
If you just have abdominal bloating, you're gluten sensitive, you don't think that I'm gluten. You are gluten sensitive because of your lifestyle disease.
Oh, that's I think a very very important point. Which I think that's a very important point. Okay, now whole fruits or juices?
Whole fruits.
For sure.
There is 100 trillion gut bacteria in your gut. They will not drink juices. They will have to eat your whole fruit. Whenever you are eating, please remember you are feeding two people, one you and also your babies in the gut. If you don't feed the babies in the gut, that's why people are looking pregnant.
Okay, again said with humor. First, I was trying to figure out and process it in my mind, but I figured what you meant, the babies in the gut. Okay. Okay, now we want to obviously know you better. We'll come to more questions. What's a hidden talent or hobby you have outside of the gut health?
Cooking.
And do you cook biryani?
I-
Or what do you enjoy cooking? Or do you cook for your children? Do you cook for your wife? Did you make those samosas?
Yes, I love, my wife loves cooking, so I love cooking with her.
Okay.
So that is something that I
And
absolutely
a
love.
dish which you think,
We make different kinds of dosas, which is gut friendly for my kids.
okay, so healthy food for the
Healthy
kids.
food.
And that's what you're born on. Okay, interesting. If you could be a superhero for gut health, what would your powers be?
I will actually scan the plate
Okay.
and then I will be able to replace with guilty pleasures along with the super powerful.
So use AI to.
to.
Okay, great. Okay, that's a very interestingly answered. Again, of course, humor. Where's your favorite travel destination for gut-friendly food and adventures? Any place which you feel ki chalo, it's healthy food, I'll be good on my gut?
To be honest, my native village, it's absolutely wonderful. It's locally produced, not fresh, and it's a small village near Madurai. And I absolutely love. We go for Pongal, Sankranti, January 14th every time to my native place. I absolutely love it. You will not believe it that my gut feels the best
when you're there.
when I'm there.
Because it's, of course, local, fresh, like you rightly said.
Whole foods.
Okay, for you, your favorite gut-friendly food. I mean, a healthy snack, but for you, is there anything? Do you?
So my go-to thing is dahi.
Okay.
Curd every time.
And plain dahi, or do you put chini or shakkar or anything?
So sugar added with probiotics will not work that much.
So ideally plain yogurt, freshly
yogurt
made
mixed with blueberry, raspberry, or any other fruits.
Okay. Dr. Paul, we'll come back to your ethics corner, but I want to ask you about how does stress, does it impact your gut health? And also, like nowadays, there's something called the emotional eating. How does, are these two connected? And tell us a little bit about
The problem here is among young Indians, they don't look big, they don't have any significant obesity, but people are having young age deaths.
Yeah.
That I'm seeing that a 23-year-old software engineer in Tesla works so much and he's in the ICU in the hospital as we speak. I just couldn't get that picture out of my mind. Okay, and I'm telling
just 23.
Just 23, and he has been financial. I could see myself over there, right? This is the exact population I want to stop doing the things that I did. So I worked hard throughout the night. I wanted to financially secure. What is happening is whenever you are stressed out, there's a hormone called cortisol that is being secreted. It is almost like it's giving you so much energy that you need to run away from the stressor like a lion. When a deer is being chased by a lion, cortisol is secreted in that deer, giving you as much energy so that you run away from the lion. Every time you're missing a deadline, every time you are having an exam, every time you are having late night burning the midnight oil, cortisol is being secreted. But the problem is you are not running away from the lion, you're actually going into the lion again. It gives you so much calories, you are not expending that calories, it all gets settles down in the belly fat. We Indians have a manufacturing defect. Our belly will not be able to store fat as much as the white people. It is a genetic thing. So that is,
and that's why do we see it more in men post in the 30s 40s because they take more stress. Is there a connection?
Of course. And then that is why I always say this: after lockdown, people cannot look down.
Yeah. Okay. No, yeah. I mean, what you're saying makes sense. I mean, I could connect that, like the mid belly, and but if it's related to stress, so clearly one should be, I think prioritizing, being mindful about the eating, focus. These are not tough things, but once I think that's what you're trying to do, I guess, spread awareness. Again, there's something called fun with fasting, which you really talk about. And again, with fasting also, there are two things, right? Some people say it doesn't work for everybody. What would you like to tell us about?
So intermittent fasting has so much research about it. I was involved in Stanford research. I am not focusing on extended periods of intermittent fasting. What I am promoting is called time restricted feeding, where you eat from sunrise to sunset. I want you to stop eating after sunset. And I want you to give the time for your hormones to repair your gut, because every time that you eat, doesn't matter healthy or unhealthy, you are damaging 10% of the lining of your intestines. You need to repair the 10% by giving 12 hours rest overnight.
So break your, after 7 p.m. don't eat, right? Ideally?
Ideally not after 7 p.m. Let's say that you're very busy, your dinner time is at 9 p.m., then 9 p.m.
But then don't eat till 9 in the morning. Don't eat till 9 in the morning.
Correct.
So give yourself that 12.
Minimum 12 hours.
Okay, now that you've shared so much with us, thank you for that. I am going to be an examiner for you. We have an ethics exam corner. Okay, so Dr. Pal, how do you ensure patient confidentiality while sharing their stories or case studies online? Like if a patient comes to you, how do you...
So, that's why I create this universe with these characters. So, Dr. Pal, I have my friend Saravana Kumar, I have my patient Arugya Sami, and I have my North Indian friend Kapil Sharma, I have Bengali friend Abhijit Chakraborty, and then I have another relationship thing where patient Arugya Sami is the ex-boyfriend of Saravana Kumar's wife, Tirupura Sundari.
Wow. So, you have characters, basically.
So,
you built a world where you're not using. Okay, so you're clear on that. Okay, as a Gutman, my next question, how do you handle criticism or negative comments on social media? What strategies do you use to maintain a positive online presence?
Yeah, so I got so much hate initially itself, right when I started my social media, because I was promoting vaccination. So people thought that I got money from the vaccine companies and I'm promoting it. I wish they gave. But I was very clear that from a medical angle, this is the right thing to do. I really didn't care how much amount of hate that I got, because I know that people who got vaccinated
you could save
prevented
lives.
deaths.
Yeah.
So since I got exposed to all these negative comments early as well, anything
Now it doesn't
after
make a
now it
difference.
doesn't matter because I am telling what I will tell my family members, I'll tell my patients in the social media. So that gave me
So what you would tell your loved ones, that is what you want to tell your...
in my social media as well.
Okay, great. Okay, would you disclose a potential conflict of interest if a gut health product you recommend is produced by a company you have ties with?
Of course, yes. That you will not believe. A company came to me and then we said that if you could just tell me this product is approved, we'll give you 1C. I said, if I accept it, my gut will not let me feel sleep at the night. So
Your conscious and your gut
conscious will
wouldn't
kill
allow,
me.
yeah,
Conscious
yeah.
will kill me. But the beautiful thing is that I am not doing this for money. That's the most important thing because I am very financially secure. So I am slightly at a different level compared to other content creators.
So your mission really is to help. Yeah, I think so. You're very clear on
My
that.
God has blessed
Been
me
kind.
with this opportunity.
Yeah. So okay, great. So would you prioritize honesty with patients about the limitations of gut health treatments or generally about their health, even if it means losing their trust or business? Like, would you just tell a patient that, will you be honest?
Patient coming to me for weight loss, I'll be blunt with them. I'll say that your weight will not be lost for the next 3 months. If you are okay with that, I'm looking for long-term fix. I'm not looking for quick fix. If you are with me, I'll make sure that whatever weight that you lose after 3 months, you will never ever gain back again.
Oh.
But if you want to lose weight in the first 3 months, there are other people that who are helping out. You are not a good fit for me. This is my common statement to every patient walking into my clinic.
So you're honest and blunt. I mean, whether you lose that patient or the business. Okay. Is honesty always the best policy? Again, of course, you said about work, but this is on a personal, even if it causes discomfort, generally in life.
No, I don't think it's the best policy, especially
Have
for
you burnt your
medical.
fingers?
I've seen my professors burn the fingers in terms of delivering bad news to patients. So people's in US, they have this culture that they will have to be very honest with the patient, which I don't think that's the right angle because every patient needs to be individualized. There was a colon cancer patient in a 38-year-old. We revealed the patient diagnosis right directly to the patient. The patient collapsed right in front of us.
Oh my God. So you have to be wise about what you're saying when we...
think
Okay,
so.
so you keep that in mind.
I keep that in mind.
So then you keep it it's situation
Very
based.
individualized.
Yeah, and
If I have to escape from my wife, I do that.
Okay, so should personal interest ever take precedence over professional responsibilities?
Personal?
Personal interests, and when it comes to your professional responsibilities.
It's tricky. It's
Situation
tricky.
again.
It's situation again. I will be lying to you if I say that professional responsibility is the thing. I think social media, especially after coming to social media, I have chosen this gray zone. I've never been white or black, which I will choose on the individual and choose on the situation and then decide what is the best next step for that particular context.
Great. I think the amount you've shared with us, it's amazing. And the way you've put it across, I'm going to remember a lot of those things. But just before we wrap, Dr. Pal, if you can just tell us and our viewers how you also work in the States.
Yeah, yes.
So what you're doing there, how life is different there, the work culture between America and India. So just tell us a little bit about that.
If I have an option of the same financial security over here in India, I would be in India. It's my personal opinion.
Okay.
I went there. I'm one of the brain drained people where I went over there for financial success. But what I'm thinking is, work culture is state of the art. They do very well. But I'm going to be very honest with you. After seeing all the white patients, I always felt that, okay, we're doing so much good job here. Why can't we give back to our own community? So my message to people who are settled outside of India is that, hey, after you are financially secure, you have to take a step back and then evaluate, hey, how I can give back to the community.
Yeah.
It could be time, it could be your clinic, it could be online program, doesn't matter. But that mindset needs to happen for all the NRIs listening to the podcast.
Yeah, and in fact, I think that's really well put. But just, before we close, I didn't know before this that you never wanted to be a doctor. So that makes it even more unplanned. But of course, your whole stint with social media in 2020, which is quite late in your life, a message you would like to give people who are grappling with uncertainty when they want to do something, it never happens. And that's why this podcast is called Unplanned Life, because sometimes we should just let serendipity happen.
Yeah.
And it could work out well for us, like it has for you. I mean, you're having the best of both the worlds.
Correct.
So a message you would like to give people like that who are struggling?
I think people who are struggling with decision making, where should I have to go this way or that way? I think you just have to go with your gut.
You generally mean that, yeah. Go with the gut feeling.
Go with the gut feeling. I have seen in my life is that things will fall in place eventually for you as long as you are going with your gut. I never thought that I'll be active in social media. I never thought that there'll be an opportunity to come back to India and do the gut health program over here. I never even imagined. I would have been one of those people who are settled in NRI
Yeah.
and then come to once a year with your chocolates to India.
Huh.
But life has given me this opportunity. So if you go with your gut, I think life will give you that opportunity that you want.
Yeah, so just listen to what your heart says, your gut says, your intuition says. And my last question, which I cannot let you go without, is how did you get the name Gutman? Like we have Rohit Sharma called Hitman. How did you get Gutman?
Gutman is, I used to give talk shows, Metcom shows throughout the US and all the world as well. One of the talk shows, a 8-year-old who actually came in with a poster with me and a stomach and the large intestine in the middle, and he wrote G, and then he said, our Gutman.
Ah,
So then I realized that, okay, see, my videos are getting connected with an 8-year-old.
Yeah.
That is the exact age population where the gut health needs to be built. If you have a strong health between 0 to 10 years of age, gut health, I guarantee you that particular kid will never get diabetes, obesity, hypertension, hypothyroidism, PCOS, you name it. That is how strong the gut is. So then I took that word and then I said that
so it
I'm
was
going
an
to focus on the kids.
8-year-old child who actually came up and gave you the idea.
Correct.
And even serious diseases, like you just mentioned, they are connected to our gut. So if we take care of our gut from the very beginning, we can save ourselves from so much happening. So many diseases, cancer, diabetes, yeah?
Love your gut, gut will love you back.
Love your gut. Gut will love you back. Well, on that note, thank you so much, Dr. Paul. It's really been a pleasure to have you with us on Unplanned Life on NDTV.
Thank you, Ambika. Thank you.